Welcome to Sociomole, the social media listening and sentiment-based automatic response technology that helps you make the most of social media for your business. This short video will guide you through the basics of this powerful software, and further videos are available to explore Sociomole in more detail. As Sociomole is a cloud-based solution, your access is via an online login. Every Sociomole client will have at least one system administrator account, and this will be set up by us with a temporary password so that you can log on to the system and set up your very first campaign. The details of your username and temporary password are sent to you by email. Once you have these, go to sociomole.com to begin using the software. It will save time if you create a shortcut or add sociomole.com to your favourites for future access to the login. On the home page at the top right, you will see a link to login. Simply click here. This takes you to the login area, where you need to enter the details we sent you. Don't worry, you can easily change your password later, but for now, let's just get you logged in for the very first time. Successfully logged in, you now find yourself at the dashboard. This is where everything comes together to allow you to customize Sociomole and get it working for you. The dashboard is, as you will see, easy to navigate with tabs across the top and also down this left-hand side. Both have the same function, so use whichever works best for you. Over time, the menu options will increase as we add new functions and platforms. Once you're running campaigns, the dashboard gives you a clear overview, has an activity monitor for all recent activity, and allows you to see the most recent conversation. It also shows all of the campaigns you've created, either by manual setup or by cloning an existing campaign. We have populated this dashboard with some details for the purpose of giving you a general overview. However, please note that on your first visit to your own dashboard, there will be little to see until you get a campaign underway. This is how you do it. A campaign will need a Twitter profile associated with it to be able to communicate, and users are already set up. So you will have to make sure you have created social media profiles and users for use by Sociomole. You can use established social media profiles or create new profiles. Multiple campaigns can be assigned to the same profile, or, as is probably more likely, you can give each campaign its own unique profile. Creating profiles is the subject of a separate video, which goes into the whole process in detail. For the purposes of this general overview, we will assume you have profiles and users already set up. Go to the Campaigns tab and select Create New, which takes you to the basic campaign details screen. You now need to give your campaign a title, which you type in here. Then you give your campaign a description to distinguish it from any other campaigns you will be running. The campaign will need a start date to activate it, so enter it here. The campaign start date is important, as your ability to edit the campaign is granted for 180 days. So once the start date is set up, the system will begin counting down. After 6 months, you will no longer be able to change any details. You will, however, be able to stop and restart the campaign as often as you like thereafter. The next step is to choose the Type tab, which determines the interaction between Sociomole and its audience. Firstly, you should decide which route the system will use to tweet. You have a choice of 3 buttons here to select, namely, Private. Sociomole will follow people who have made the relevant posts and wait for them to follow back. By selecting Private, you instruct the system to only converse with those who follow back via the direct message route. The potential audience is lower, but the chance of successful conversation is greater because of the trust and less random nature of direct messages. Public. This is where Sociomole will identify people and instantly start the process of tweeting them in the public timeline with the @Twitter handle method. This route will lead to higher audience numbers, but with lower rewards. Finally, you can select both. This is generally the ideal situation. You need to determine and select the time you are willing to wait for a follow back. The delay allows Sociomole to have the option of using a direct message for an allotted time period, before using the public tweet method. This gives you the best chance of getting a private message. It also gives the response a little breathing room, so it seems less spam-like. It can be set from 20 minutes up to 2 days. However, we recommend anything between 20 minutes to 2 hours. Anything after that, the conversation starts going cold. You then use the Users tab to assign the campaign to the user. If you have multiple basic license users or are using account managers to oversee multiple campaigns, you can assign them here. Next, you need to go to the Profiles tab and assign one of your social media profiles to this campaign you are creating. The drop-down will show your profiles available, so simply click the one you want to use for the campaign. You now have a campaign that has been created. It has a title, a description, a start date, its social media profile assigned, and, of course, a licensed user. The next part is the heart of a good campaign. This is where you use the dictionaries to instruct Sociomole on what tweets to look for and how to exclude tweets. There will be tweets that may contain relevant words or phrases, but do not meet your campaign criteria. This may be because of additional words or abbreviations that change the overall meaning. The words and phrases you are trying to identify and respond to are included in your whitelist. The words and phrases that you want to ignore are in the blacklist. These lists will grow and be refined over the first few weeks of your campaign. Sociomole gives you access to edit and refine the lists over a period of 180 days from the start date of the campaign. So you have plenty of time to get the campaign really relevant and working for your business. As this is such an important part of the system, to fully explain the lists and their use is beyond this video. You can learn more about managing the white and black lists in a separate video. Getting Sociomole to engage automatically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week and every week of the year requires you to get the basics all correctly configured. The next steps will finish off the process of setting up a campaign and letting Sociomole make the most of social media for your business. Sociomole's ability to not only identify relevant tweets but also to understand their mood is what the techies call sentiment analysis. It is very clever and novel. For users, let's say it's able to match moods in its responses. This mood matching is a valuable way to engage with the audience and a key factor in making Sociomole's automation far less obvious. To set up Sociomole to reply in the most human-like fashion, you have to determine its responses. We will cover this in great detail in another video, but in simple terms, you click Add New, which gives you the option to send up to 3 different stages of tweets, within 8 key moods and are in either the first or third person. As you type in the full web URL, the system converts it and allocates 22 of the tweet characters. This reduces the number of characters you can use to 118. When the system finds someone and follows them, depending on the type set up earlier, it will send out the initial contact. Sociomole then waits for a response before sending a conversational tweet and follows with the final sales pitch. This is the route if you want the slower, more structured conversation. If you simply want to send out one tweet directing users to buy something, for example, then you only need to populate the initial contact. Sociomole cannot change the order it sends tweets out. The first one is always the initial contact. It is up to you what you want that to say. The power of Sociomole also resides in its demographics capabilities. This is where you can set up the location of your target within social media. Remember that not everyone sets their location within the profiles or tweets. If you are not sure about the radius you want to use or decide location is not a factor, then simply set it to UK all. If you want to target people within a certain postcode or town, then enter the postcode or select the town. You can use the map to right-click on a specific location. Using the radius will extend the radius around the central point you selected above. Finally, all you need to do is click Save Changes to save your campaign. Sociomole will start searching for matches and respond from the start date you set. You can now see the campaign that you've created on the dashboard or active campaign option in the campaign menu. You can access it to make further amendments by clicking the symbol in the Edit column for the campaign you want to amend. If you view the campaign list within the campaign menu option, you also have the option to clone an existing campaign, which will help reduce the work in setting up a similar campaign. You can also archive a campaign that has been running by clicking on the symbol in the Archive column for that campaign and confirm you want to archive it at the prompt. The campaign will then be removed from the dashboard of live campaigns. If you want to reactivate an archived campaign, click on the Campaigns tab, select Archived in the drop-down, select the campaign you want to reactivate by clicking the symbol in the Activate column, and then confirming the reactivation at the prompt. The campaign will now appear in the dashboard. Congratulations, you have now set up your Sociomole campaign to make the most of social media for your business. Sociomole. Connect, innovate, explore.